Okay, hello again, BC. Thanks for tuning in to part two of the best of reissues that I have. And I was talking about this Van Morrison one earlier. You know, it's a nice gatefold. The original issue that I had wasn't on a gatefold like this on the Green Warner Brothers, but they did a really nice job of this record. And it's made, it says on the back, made in the EU, looks like Germany. And it's Universal Music Group. And I had, like I said, the original Green Warner Brothers US pressing. And this is much better. This is a lot better. This sounds really good, this record does. Okay, and then we've got I've got a bunch of these Groundhog records that have been reissued on the BGO. In fact, I think I've got all of them. I went and got all of them back. It's probably about 25 years ago. I bought all these records on the BGO label. I think I still have a couple originals, but I like the Groundhogs. And the reason I was bringing it up was that if you see this BGO records, that's a UK label. These are pressed in the UK. They're really good sounding records, better than the originals were that I had. Okay, here's another reissue label. Okay, it looks like a Vertigo Swirl, but it's a reissue, and they do a nice job. It's got the gatefold on it, but this is out of Korea. This is a guy who started this label called Swai Song, and the records are really nice. They're on this swirl. One side's a swirl, but the other side has got the Swai Song label. And excuse me, never did have an original UK press of this, because, you know, probably 10 years ago I was trying to get one, and they're always over $100. That was 10 years ago. Well, the interest is growing on these things. I ended up picking up a German press, and this Swai Song sounded better than the German first press swirl. I've never had the UK press of this. I imagine it sounds really good, probably better than this one. But you know, they're 200 or more, and probably a lot more for a really nice one like this. I think I bought it was still sealed when I got it. So yeah, Swai Song, they make good sounding records. And here's a Genesis selling England by the pound on the Classic Records label. Really great sounding record. I used to have this. I used to have it on a original UK press, and this sounds a lot better. Okay, and now I wanted to talk about, you know, it's probably in the early 90s, Mofi was making those 200 gram records, and this is one of them. They made some Emerson, Lake and Palmer records, and they are really good. This from that era, the Mofis were really good. And that's not like the new stuff. The new stuff I'm not crazy about, but this older stuff is really good. Now here we go, El Dorado by Electric Light Orchestra on Music on Vinyl. That sounds really good. I used to just have the domestic original press, and this sounds a lot nicer to me. Now we're getting into some really high-end vinyl. This is state-of-the-art vinyl here. This is from Analog Productions, Quality Records. This is the Doors stuff, and these covers are, look at this, it's embossed, and Quality Records went to the company that makes these covers, and they said, we want your best product, the best cover that you people know how to make. That's what we want to make for these Doors records. And it's just like the T for the Tillerman. No expense was spared. They wanted the best that they could do. And, you know, it's the Quality Records pressing. And now the ones that I bought the 2LP, the 45 RPM. And, you know, this is all analog, and it just sounds unbelievably great. If they still got some of these, get them now, because when they're not making them anymore, they're going to be worth a lot of money. Here's another one of those. This is another 2LP half-speed mastered record, and this one was made pressed at RTI, and it was half-speed mastered by Stan Ricker on 180 gram. And again, it's a 2 LP. 2 LP. Great record. And I'm telling you, put it on, you listen to it. That's what half-speed master sounds like. This is a half-speed master. You put some of the new Mofis on, and it's like, what's the big deal? It doesn't sound that great at all. It sounds nice, but if you put this on, yeah, that's what half-speed master sounds like. That sounds great. They did a good job. Warner Brothers. Okay, here we've got another Rhino, a Deep Purple Machine Head. You know, I've had a lot of Japanese first editions of this record, and this one sounds better than those, so that's how good this is. Fantastic. Cosmos Factory. This is CCR, and it's a Quality Records pressing. It just came out a while back. Again, this is better. I compared it to the Mofi that was been out for a long time, and this was a lot better than the Mofi. Sounded a lot more like the analog tape. Now this is another, you know, these Alice Cooper records, the old ones like this, they're really, really hard to get in really nice condition. And the ones that there's a few of them out there. Like if you can try to find a Japanese edition, they want the moon for them. And Rhino reissued this, and they did, I mean, just a phenomenal job of it. Again, pressed at RTI. It's a Rhino reissue, and they say on there, LP cut from the original analog masters, packages replicated to the finest detail, manufactured with more care than ever. And it's true. Again, it's got the dollar bill in it. It's got, you know, if you find these, a lot of times this is all perforated, so they pop that out. The dollar bill's missing. This is ripped. There's a bunch of those out there, and it has the original inner sleeve, but it's a really thick cardstock on here. So of course, you know, I put it in. It's got the original Green Warner Brother label, and of course I put them in these nice inner sleeves to protect the record. This is just going to end up scratching your record. You want to put it in that thing. But the bottom line is, this is probably the best that's ever going to be made of this record. I can't see anybody doing a better job than this down the road any time. Because, you know, this is like a first press again, because it's from the master tape, and they're doing it with people that really know how to do it well, and they're doing it to a high standard, the high standard they can. And it's, you know, this is embossed on here. Fantastic sounding record. I've compared it to the Japanese first editions and this one here. That's a really, really nice record here. Great. Again, it's a Rhino. What do you expect? Now this one is a Friday Music reissue. And now you know how this used to be like a desk, and this folded up here. Well, they've just made it into like a gatefold with the front side of it where the record goes in. And again, Friday Music's got it on kind of like a brown Warner Brother label. And of course, the originals, they had these little legs that popped out on the bottom for the desk. It doesn't have any of that. But you know, if you've ever found them, there's always one of these corners is bent or something's wrong with this, so that's not going to happen. That's not a big deal. They did a nice job. It's not faithful to the original, but it's pretty close. And I mean, I have had a lot of these too. I've had them with the panties, without the panties, you know, Japanese pressings. This one sounds really nice. This is the one that I have now. Really, really good, nice record. Here's Leonard Cohen. Again, I've got a few of those by Leonard Cohen on the Music on Vinyl. I've had this on a first edition Canadian press, and this was sounded better to me. Now here's a cool record, Caravan. Some of you people might be familiar with this. I bought off eBay probably 10 years ago a original UK press of this record. But you know, like I've said before, they say, oh, excellent, you know, excellent plus condition. You come and you look at it, it's all full of scratches all over. So I found this reissue that came out a little while ago, and it's reissued on a double LP, and look at that, gray and pink vinyl. Isn't that a kicker? And it's reissued on the double LP, so it's been remastered without any type of groove cramming and all. They really spread it out, and it sounds better than the original UK press that I had. And really did a nice job of this. And this is a good record too. So that is a keeper there. And it's let me tell you who made it. Kilmit, Klimt. And now Kilmit is out of France, but these records they weren't pressed in France. Oh, here it is. It's a sticker. Made in Germany. So they were pressed in Germany. And they sound really nice. And it was somewhere on there, but I made them. Okay, next. It's a David Bowie reissue. And this is that 40th anniversary high-res audio edition. And it's a 2012 remastered. And I've never had a first edition Japanese of this. I mean, there's one on eBay or so. They want $300 or more for them, you know, with that pink Rock Now OB on them. I did have the second edition, and this one to me sounded better than that second edition Japanese. So that's going a long way. And of course, look at that. It sounded like the green RCA, but they got Bowie on there instead. That was pretty cool. And it comes with a nice thick inner sleeve with lyrics on it. And it's got it's a gatefold, but I'm not going to open that up right now. And it's a Gem production. EMI Records. Let's see if it says it right here real quick. Yeah. Anyway, that's a good one. I like this one. It's a keeper. Next up is the Boston. This is the Friday Music, and it's really done really nice. It's a gatefold, and it's a Friday Music edition. And I've compared it to the first edition Japanese press. This one's got better bass. It's about the top end's about the same, not quite as bright. You know, it did a good job. Really sounds nice. Now we get into those Black Sabbath rhinos. Now I compared this one. I had a first edition Japanese swirl, and I compared it to this Black Sabbath, this Rhino edition, and I thought this Rhino edition was better than the first edition Japanese swirl, which is the first, obviously first edition. So that's how good that is. And then we've got Black Sabbath. I've got a few of these. It's on the Castle out of UK, a Castle reissue. And these are probably 15 years ago they did that. And these are better than the Rhinos, the Castle reissues, if you can find those. And then I got this Bad Company, and again it's a Rhino reissue, and it's just unbelievably, they just did such a fantastic job of this stuff. And so I want to thank everybody for tuning in. That's about the best of all the reissues that I have. Any questions, feel free, and I hope I can answer in better detail underneath in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.